Okay. Okay, dear students, I have to repeat all of the information again because I just started recording. Please have me patience. Okay, welcome students to this class. Now we're all connected. You can ask me any question if you want. I'd be pleased to answer your questions, and you can raise your hand during the exposition or by the end. I have selected these both pictures for you to be aware about time. For example, in this first picture, it is hourglass, which measures the amount of time. For example, in this first image, the time just started to pass. In this second image or picture, the time has already passed. And here, the time has the amount of time has already finished to pass. So in communicational situations, you're going to need to be aware about the time, how the verb tenses change depending on communicational situations in the target language, and also be aware of how to conjugate them. Like in this image, we have present simple, present continuous, and past simple. Here, the verb is eat, right? Which in Spanish means comer. And the verb is in their normal form. Here, the verb has ing. And here, the verb is completely changed, right? It's because we're conjugating the verb according to the tense verb. So that is the topic of this class, the past simple. Okay, students, now we're here. The past simple has to change the verb, right? So the past, we're going to learn the past form of a verb. We have regular verbs and irregular verbs. Irregular verbs, as you can see here, I'm sharing you the screen. Oh my God, no. Okay, now we're here. As you can notice, the past simple, as we were talking, like here, we were talking about the different verb tenses, right? Present simple, present continuous, and past simple. So we're going to focus on past simple. The past simple changed the verb, as we saw before. We have regular verbs and irregular verbs. The regular verbs, for example, play, dance, cry, we only add to the verb ed, as we can see here. You can see it? I think yes. In irregular verbs, we have these verbs here, drink, bring, choose. I wanted you to notice how the verb is completely changed. It changed, right? Here's an I and here's an you. Drink, drunk. Bring, brought. Choose, choose. Well, that verb, it's pronounced is almost the same. So, when the verb don't change, if you ever wonder that, the verb didn't change if we have an auxiliary like this. For example, I did not play. When you have did not, or when you have didn't in the negative mode, you didn't add ed, okay? You don't add ed either if we have in the interrogative mode, did I play? There, you didn't add ed. And here it says I played. Here in the affirmative mode, you add ed, okay? Like for example, in these conversations, you're going to notice that this girl is talking in past simple because it has an ed. Igual, at the same, in the second girl is using this auxiliary, which is didn't, but the verb is not changed. It hasn't changed. All right, so this conversation says, hi, Lisa, I called you around 3 yesterday, but you didn't answer. And the girl says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear my phone. They are talking in past. When you saw didn't, they are talking in past simple. Or when you see an ed added to the verb, we're talking in past simple. Like in this situation right here, in this second picture, you can notice where is the ed add. It is in liked. Or the dialogue of the girl, where it says, yeah, you told me. The verb is changed because it is irregular. But then it says, I borrowed it from the library yesterday. You can see the ed right here because we're in past simple. So there are many grammar rules for you to know how to add ed and when not, but there are not a specific way to do it. So you have to memorize sometimes the verbs that are irregular. But in general, we add ed to all regular verbs. Like here, this example here. Wash, washed, finish, finished, talk, talked. 2. To the verbs that end in E, we only add D. We don't double the letter E if the verb ends in E. So like, live, life. The third rule is to the verbs that end in a consonant and a Y. We change the Y for the words E-E-E-T, okay, I-E-T. For example, in study, we can see this word. This is a consonant, and here is the Y. We change the Y for I-E-T. So study, studied. Carry, carried. Try, tried. Verbs that end in the vowel plus Y add ET. Here in play, there's a vowel, and here a Y. So we don't replace the Y for eyes either, so that we only add ET. Okay, there are special cases too for the past formal verbs, and these are when a verb ends in the vowel plus a consonant, but if the accent falls on the vowel of the last syllable, it is double. For example, stop, plan, and bend. The accent is on the vowel, so it's going to double the last letter, which is a consonant, and add ed. All right. So now we're going to play a game because it's a very strategic game. Okay, students, I give you 5 minutes for you to memorize some of these verbs in this list of verbs. You're going to memorize this and this row. You know, this and this row, okay? Try to memorize what you can memorize, you know, as many possible, as many possible. Traducción. You can also remember the translation, okay? So let's start. Guys, did you understand the activity? Of course, you have to memorize this list. You have to memorize this list. The verb in infinitive and in past simple. Only the yellow rows, okay? Okay, time is off. Let's see, what do you remember? What do you remember? Give me a second. Okay. Let's start with Ruby, which is the past form of dream. You can write it down on chat. Ruby.
Dream?
Right. You can write it down in the chat. Can you write it down on chat, Ruby?
Yes.
Okay. Dreamed. That's right. So let's put here dreamed. The next one, the next participant, it's going to be Denise. What is the past form of begin? What is the past form of the verb begin? Began. Okay, that's right. Thank you, Galilea. I will write it down here. The past form of begin is began. Cool. Now the next participant is Salome. What is the past form of drink?
Drank.
Correct. Perfect. The next participant is Victoria. And what is the past form of eat? Victoria. That's an easy one. Okay, I think she's maybe having problems with their internet. So the past form of it is ate. These are irregular verbs. Irregular verbs in their past form. Cool. So I'm going to give you an example. That is me, that's your teacher. But this is a paragraph written on past simple. What I did yesterday. ¿Qué hice ayer? Yesterday, I visited Yahuarcocha Lake. I went with my parents and some of my friends. I had a lot of fun admiring the view and taking fresh air. And after taking some pictures of the lake, my family, my friends, and I went to eat to the nearest restaurant. I ate delicious fried fish, which is the typical dish in the zone. Finally, we came back home and I remember that I watched TV when I arrived and I also checked out my phone. Things that I usually do when I'm not working. Also, I answered some emails and when I finished my standing issues, I went to sleep. It was a really great day. Okay, now for finish the class, I wanted you to tell me what did you do last weekend? And use past simple. It not has to be so long, like this, like the example I gave you. So let's start with the activity, students. You have 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Oh, and I almost forgot. You have to write your answer in the chat, okay? Okay, Denise has an emergency. He has to go out of the meeting, but thank you for being in this English class. That is right, Galilea. Your answer is right. I played with my nephews in the park. That's correct. It is a regular verb. So we only add ed. Galilea, can you repeat your answer to your classmates?
I played with my nephews in the park.
Correct. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Salome. Salome says, I bought some gifts for my family for Christmas. It's excellent. It is an irregular verb, and the past form is correct. Salome, share your answer to the class.
Excuse me?
Share your answer to the class. What did you do last weekend?
You can listen.
What did you do last weekend? Your answer.
I
That is on chat.
bought some gifts for my family for Christmas.
Great, excellent. Thank you, Salome. Okay, Victoria wrote, I dreamed a nightmare last night. That's great. It is also an irregular verb. Victoria, please share your answer, but you wrote on chat to your classmates. Victoria? You hear me? Okay, let's pass to the next student. Ruby says, I swam in the pool. It is also a regular verb. Ruby, share your answer to the class. Yes, it is irregular, but share your answer speaking to the class.
I swam in the pool.
Yes, correct. Thank you, Ruby. Okay, guys, so you did great the activities. I wanted for you to remember two things that in past simple that are important. For example, especially this part. We have regulars and irregular verbs. There is not a specific rule, grammar rule, to know what verb is regular or what is irregular. So you only have to try to memorize the verbs, the irregular verbs, like in this list, and remember these rules, especially the ones who have the Y. You have to remember these rules. If you want this class, I should send this class to your emails, all right? So thank you guys for being in this lesson. And I'm going to do some things before you can leave this English class.